His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has just returned from a trip to the northeastern part of the country, specifically to carry out an on-the-spot assessment of the operations in the Northeast and to visit the troops and to reassure them of the government's continued commitment to putting an end to the threat, the menace of insurgency and terrorism. President Jonathan applauded the troops for proving their mettle once again through the rapid recapture of territories that were formerly held by insurgents in the northeastern part of the country. Addressing officers and men of the Nigerian Army in Mubi and also in Baga, which were recently recaptured from Boko Haram, President Jonathan declared that he and all Nigerians were very proud of the bravery, the competence, and the patriotism with which our troops are now undertaking operations to expel the insurgents from all parts of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. The President said that with the recent successes, which have overwhelmingly turned the tide against Boko Haram, the Nigerian military has proven beyond any doubt that it remains fully capable of defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria. The military's recent victories against Boko Haram, President Jonathan told the troops, have also proven conclusively that all those within and outside the country who cast aspersions on Nigerian soldiers and questioned their ability and willingness to overcome the insurgents were misinformed and wrong. President Jonathan, who was accompanied on the trip by the National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, the Inspector General of Police, and all the service chiefs, assured the troops that the federal government will ensure that they receive all the equipment and logistics they require to complete the ongoing mission to reassert government's effective control over all areas formerly held by the Boko Haram. The President promised the soldiers that all issues pertaining to their welfare will be properly and expeditiously addressed. He assured them that they will be duly rewarded for their bravery and patriotic service to the nation at the successful conclusion of ongoing operations against Boko Haram. Families of soldiers who have sadly lost their lives in battles against Boko Haram will also be well provided for, President Jonathan assured the troops. The soldiers responded to the President's address with chants of never again, never again, never again. They assured him that insurgents and terrorists will never again be allowed to take and hold any Nigerian territory. While in Mubi, President Jonathan, who was accompanied by the Governor of Adamawa State, Mr. Bala Ngilare, and the Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Boni Aruna, paid a courtesy call on the Emir of Mubi, Alhaji Isa Amadu. President Jonathan assured the Emir that the federal government would do all within its powers to ensure that normalcy is speedily returned to Mubi and other towns and settlements recently recaptured from Boko Haram to enable displaced persons return to their homes in the shortest possible time. President Jonathan also undertook an aerial inspection of other towns and areas recently recaptured from Boko Haram, including Munguno. Indeed, between Mubi and Baga, we were in the air for about 1 hour, 40 minutes, flying over many of the communities and trying to assess the situation in those communities. Before returning to Abuja, the President met and conferred with the Borno State Governor, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, in Maiduguri. And the President was particularly impressed with the esprit de corps among the troops and their very high spirits. It was all told a very successful outing. This is the substance of what has happened today, Thursday. Thank you very much. We visited the Emir of Mubi and he went around the community. And of course, you'll recall that on January 15, the President, during a previous visit to Maiduguri, to the Mamalari barracks in Maiduguri, met with internally displaced persons in different parts of Borno State. But today, mainly, he used the opportunity to interact with the troops, to ask after their welfare, to take pictures with them, to inspect some of the weaponry recovered from Boko Haram insurgents, and to interact generally with the officers and the men. Well, I mean, what is very clear is that many of the affected persons are beginning to return. But of course, that will be a gradual process. In Mubi today, when we drove around the town, we discovered that many shops are now open. Life is returning. People were going about their normal businesses. Markets have reopened. The Emir of Mubi also is back in his palace. And, in the statement that the Emir of Mubi made, he said that, he was back in his palace for good, and that he was urging all other members of the community to return. And it was quite reassuring to see that life has returned is returning to normal in Mubi. And in Baga also, when we went around, we saw that the Nigerian troops, have effectively taken control of the community, and they flushed out, the insurgents.
Yes.